Hello, this is Raccoon News with Solomon, and in this episode we will be going over the Laconia versus Kano and Bastion conflict. Now, the origin that we're beginning going over origin up until when Astoria leaves Entente, which was yesterday, 23rd of January, 2019. So, the origin. Kano has started developing in the northeast part of the map, and Laconia claimed over some of that territory without having explored it, which is bad. That's not something you do. So they sent an explorer up to that territory to explore it, and the explorer came across a member of Kano. Now, both sides say the other attacked first, but the explorer of Laconia met the Kano member, and either the Kano member struck first or the Laconia member struck first. It's unknown, but the Laconia person started pursuing the Kano member after whatever initially happened, and in the end, I think five members of Kano ended up dying, and this is the beginning of the conflict. So each side started raiding each other or being hostile towards each other when they saw each other, and Laconia, which has a lot of raiders in its ranks, some of them are from a group referred to as the Vikings. And Laconia raided both Cameronton and Crow's Nest, which are uninvolved parties. They thought these people were Kano, but I don't know. Laconia just didn't know that or whatever. So they ain't raiding neutral, uninvolved parties. Now, several members of Laconia were residing in Venice, which is a member of the Entente. Laconia is also part of Entente. They're both members of the Entente, which is an international organization of several nations who are pledged to defend each other and assist each other. Now, Laconia was residing inside Venice, and Bastion launched a raid, and they killed several members of Laconia. They also killed members of Venice and innocent, uninvolved parties who also happened to be there, which is not a good thing. Bastion said, I was talking to some people to see their side, and Laconia and Venice said the innocent people were unarmed, but Bastion said they couldn't have known those people weren't raiders. And given how not significant death can be, like if they're innocent new friends, they wouldn't really have a lot, so death wouldn't be a whole lot. But if it's not someone you know and they're unarmed, you can make an educated guess for a raider, a non-enemy, especially if they aren't being hostile towards you. But what happened happened. Bastion killed some innocent people. Partially understandable, but could have been avoided. Now, then after that, Astoria, which is another member of Entente and had before been pledging peace and hasn't actually contributed military forces to Laconia despite being in the military alliance. Astoria wants peace, and then they announced that they're leaving the Entente. And the reasons for this are because the Entente is not being functional. None of the members are doing anything. Besides Venice and Laconia cooperating, there's been hardly any communication and no military assistance by any of the member states to each other, outside of the examples I just mentioned. And it's like, yeah, so Astoria decided to leave the Entente because the Entente's not being functional, not doing anything anyway, and there's no communication. And Astoria didn't communicate this to other members of the Entente, and still nothing happened, so the Entente is not a force, it seems. And Astoria, they also left because they want to be a neutral party, and you can't really say you're neutral if you're part of an enemy faction, even if the enemy faction isn't really working together. And Venice, which has been forced into involvement by the Bastion raid, Venetian leadership told me that they do not approve of how Bastion was handling the situation, in particular the raid on their land, which resulted in innocent people being killed. And the Venetian leadership also told me that it was very difficult to get in the contact of Bastion. They had to go for a proxy to get into communication with the Bastion leadership, which they should have not had to do. they feel like Bastion has not been respecting smaller states on the map. So that was the most. That's up to the current situation. Unless something has happened today that isn't been publicized. And I was talking to members of Bastion and Laconia. And the Bastion goals say they want to stop the raiders since Laconia is still doing raiding on lots of people, at least its members are. And Bastion wants to stop that, which is understandable. It's justifiable. High ground. Moral high ground they have. Laconia, Laconian members in leadership, the ones I were talking to, had lots of I don't knows when I was talking about their goals and foreign policy, and they seem relatively undecided on how exactly they want to proceed and carry out the war. All I heard was they would like the Crescent Island back, which is one of the territories that Kano has and that Laconia had originally claimed, but it sounds like something they kind of made up on the spot, or did they just fell back to something to say? That was that's what the situation is so far, and but it does seem Bastion and Kano they're having trouble stopping Laconia. I'm not sure who's powerful. I believe Bastion and Kano are, but not powerful enough to just like curb stomp Laconia. So we'll see if peace erupts or perhaps Laconia will dissolve and the people who want to continue fighting, like the hardcore raiders, maybe they'll just like split off. Then the people who don't want to fight will declare peace or something. We'll see what happens. And finally, I have a upload on YouTube of the interview. It's a lot of somewhat well, it's a fairly chaotic interview, but I'll link it in the thread and video description. And that is the end of this episode.